All right, all right, all right. We are live. What's going on, Lead Gen and Elite Brokers? Matty Ice here, and we have a real video for you today. We're going to be talking with Josh from financingleads.com and also as a broker. And basically, what we're going to be talking about is just breaking down the program. Because with Elite Broker, we're always trying to bring in just as many tools as we possibly can so that guys can be successful in this lending business. And obviously, leads is a really important part of that. And when you're Elite Broker member, you know that we have a very robust training area about lead generation and how to get these systems in place. But sometimes it's just easier to purchase the leads, right? So we actually have our own lead purchase program as well. But again, always trying to bring in as many resources as possible for you guys today. And equipment financing leads can be really, really profitable. So we're just going to be basically program and go from there. So Josh, my man, I appreciate your time. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. I'm really excited for this. Really appreciate your time, and I'm excited to break down the program that you guys have there. You and I talked a little bit beforehand. You've been doing this a while, and when I found you guys, I was like, I have to at least look into bringing this program into a broker because this is exactly what we do as far as generating and converting leads for business loan brokers, right? So it just seemed to be a really good fit. So I'm really excited. Why don't you just really quick take a couple minutes, introduce yourself for those that don't know you. I'm sure a decent amount of people are already going to know who you are, but just your background a little bit in industry, and then tell us a little bit about what you have going on over at Equipment Financing Leads.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. One of the things, even prior to me stating that, I think you brought it up perfectly. And you wanted to bring on, another, a lead generation source into your own, elite broker program. One thing I learned back in the day is being able to diversify. And that's what you're showing brokers that are out there is they don't understand. You could have a fantastic lead source, but if that's your only lead source, God forbid anything
Right.
was to happen, you need
Right.
some other way to be able to gather business. So that's great. My name is Josh Feinberg. I'm not only the co-founder of equipmentfinancingleads.com, I'm also the CEO of Everlasting Capital, which is my brokerage, and also the co-founder of Equipment Broker School. So, a little background on myself. I've been in the industry for about 12 years. Originally started at Direct Capital, which anybody who's been in the industry for a long time, Direct Capital was one of the largest equipment financing and leasing lenders and brokers in the country. And I worked there for a couple of years. I was 18 years old, and one day decided to branch off, go to a pawn shop to make $250 a week. And long story short, I saw a post on Facebook. Guy was looking for equipment for his restaurant, and I thought to myself, I said, I wonder if I could take that application, bring it to the banks that I know, and make money on it. And, that was kind of the start of Everlasting Capital back in November of 2012. To speed up to
Man, that's crazy.
2017, Everlasting Capital was actually ranked one of the fastest growing companies in the United States by Inc. magazine, and again in 2019. So, I started in the basement with $3,000 and brought my company to, that caliber of a company. And at that point, we had a lot of brokers reaching out to us about equipment financing, and they saw the success that we were having with it. And if anyone's in the cash advance and has tried equipment deals and has failed, they understand how difficult equipment financing and leasing can be unless you know about the product, how it works, and all the inner workings of it. So
Right.
we had a lot of brokers reaching out to my sales guys to actually say, hey, can you teach me equipment financing and leasing? And as you could imagine, that's not a very profitable way to have my sales reps utilize their time is to train people.
Right.
So me and my business partner, Will, we decided and we created this, thought of Equipment Broker School, an online, training course for equipment financing and leasing to give everybody, the necessary tips and tricks on how to do equipment financing and how to do it the right way. Because trust me, we did every single wrong way. So we wanted to be able to bring everything the right way and put it into a course. And that was in 2000, I think it was 19 or 2018 when we started that. And then, everybody was buying the course. People, cash advance brokers, a few people here and there that have never been in the industry, and then speed it up to, COVID. Once COVID hit, we had a bunch of people reaching out to us because everyone, either got laid off or they stopped working, and reached out to us that weren't even in the industry and said, we want to start a business. And it wants to be equipment financing. And at that point, it really wasn't business in a box opportunity per se. And so from there, we kind of created that business in a box opportunity where it's not only the course and the few other products, but the main thing was lead generation, right? So with all the experience and all the data that we've had and we aggregated over the years, we needed to be able to generate leads. So we tested for a long time. I mean, I would say it was probably, 9 months to a year of testing, figuring out what works, figuring out what doesn't. And we really created a great formula to deliver quality equipment financing and leasing leads that are, not only people that are going to pick up the phone, but they're people that can actually get approved and people that can actually get funded, which is probably the most important part. But to kind of bring in what I said to the comment earlier about diversification, right? Like we generate leads for my own company, Everlasting Capital, as well, but we don't generate 100% of our leads. Like we still have other lead vendors that we purchase from because we want to make sure that our eggs are not all in one basket. And I think that's a very important thing that, it kind of got brought up just because of what you said.
That's huge, man. That's one of the things I bring up on onboarding call, and why we give so many different lead generation strategies that we teach inside of EliteBroker is because, like you said earlier, if one of those sources, because I mean, as you probably know, Facebook, LinkedIn, Google, they change their algorithm and platform and community guidelines and stuff all the freaking time, and it can really throw a wrench in your lead generation. So if that's your only source, you're really running the risk of that being completely cut off, and you can't do anything about it, right? So having those multiple sources, and what I tell people is if you can get a direct outreach campaign going, like a automated LinkedIn direct outreach or something like that, maybe Facebook ads, some kind of paid advertising, purchasing leads. I mean, you've kind of got the holy grail at that point where, one, you're going to stay pretty busy. Two, you're not at risk of one channel changing something and you're completely at their mercy and now you're screwed, right? So I think that's a huge point. And the other thing you mentioned too that I really liked, and I've run into this with brokers a lot, is where you were talking about that business in a box, right? Where you got the broker school, you're teaching people financing and things like that. But a lot of these companies, all they teach is product knowledge, right? They don't teach brokers how to go out and actually get business owners interested into their pipeline, starting those conversations and providing the leads. So I think combining that is absolutely huge, because otherwise you're in a canoe paddle at that point. If you don't know if you don't have lead generation. So I thought that was fantastic as well.
Thanks. Yeah, man. It's definitely a game, right? Like it's definitely, and it's a marathon. It's not a sprint, right? That sounds so cliche, but it's totally true. Like it takes a lot. It takes time, and I think the biggest thing, especially with brokers, is because I've been a broker and I understand, and I talk to thousands of them, and they all want, you want to fund deals today, but the thing is you really got to take a look at the long term. I would say in my experience, leads actually perform better months 6 through 12 than they actually do 1 through 6, like based on follow up and everything like that. Like you may say, someone may say that they get like 1.5–2% close ratios on leads, and that was in like the first 2 months of having the leads. But I guarantee if you actually look back of that first batch of leads that you got that first month and you look in 12 months, I guarantee that's closer to 6 to 7%, because it's all about that follow up and re-nurturing. And, because, you're not going to get 100% of them. I can tell you that.
That's such a huge point. And actually, I love the way you just explained that, because I tried to explain, but it wasn't nearly as good as the way you just did it. But I really try to bring that point home to brokers like on onboarding and then my demo video and stuff. Like if you're only going to do this for 30 to 60 days, just don't even waste your time and money, dude. You have to be in this for the long run. Number one, and two, I always tell the story about my ex roommate. He's a good buddy of mine. I've heard this guy close deals a year later, 12 months later, after his initial contact with a lead for thousands of dollars in commissions by simply making a phone call every 60 days, just touching base with people, right? Because you never know when that person's going to be ready. And that's why EliteBroker is like the majority, like the big part of EliteBroker is that long-term follow-up, because I find that is one of the misses for every single broker that I talk to in this business. They have absolutely no follow-up. They're calling from a spreadsheet. Maybe they call once or twice. I'm like, guys, you can't build a business doing that. Calling leads once or twice, maybe send an email every once in a while. You've got to have a system in place to follow up with that lead for a very long time, because otherwise you're leaving potentially thousands of dollars in commissions on the table. So that long term, I love the way you put it is have 6 to 12 month outlook when it comes to leads, not that 1, 2, 3, how do I close a deal in the next 30 days? That's the wrong mindset, right? Would you agree with that?
Oh, 100%, 100%. I mean, let's put it this way: the longevity of if you have that 1 to 3 month mindset, your longevity is going to be 1 to 3 months, right? As being a broker,
Right.
like if you're brand new to this and you're in that 1 to 3 mindset, I would double that, and that's how much longer you're going to have in the business. But if you have that 12-month to 24-month outlook, you're going to be in it for a while. And I'm sure, just like you, I work with thousands of brokers, and I've seen a lot fail. I'm not saying that everybody that I've worked with has succeeded, but that's the business. It's cut out for some people, and it's not.
Right. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Awesome, man. Well, I've got a list of so just some basic questions, kind of get that start breaking down, going into detail about how the program works. And guys, also just so you know, we're going to be actually adding this into the broker software, so you're going to be able to learn more about the equipment financing lead program right inside of EliteBroker, and you can get signed up if you want. And we'll probably put the broker school in there as well. Because like you said, equipment financing, like all these different loans, they're just different ways. It's because they're such different products. Like you would think equipment financing is just closing a regular loan, but it's not, right? So you need to know the process of getting that deal closed if you're going to be successful with it. So, all right, cool. Let's go through. We'll start with our first question here. So this was something that kind of piqued my interest in. One of the things that I tell brokers too is, try not to focus on like necessarily one specific type of like loan product or whatever, because you never know what the business owner is going to be qualified for. But why would you say, why did you end up going after equipment financing leads versus other types of leads? And what would you say the biggest difference is? Like pros and cons, benefits, things like that.
Yeah. When we first started target marketing and, finding the leads to be able to not only for internal purposes at Everlasting, but for the Equipment Broker School members, it was during COVID. There was no cash advance lenders, right? So at that point, right, we weren't generating business loans. We were generating only equipment financing leads, which, construction companies, manufacturing, and transportation, those three verticals alone during COVID have thrived, and they're still thriving. So when businesses thrive, they need equipment to grow. And that's why, we kind of targeted the equipment financing leads. But not only that is, here's a little fun fact. When I started Everlasting Capital back in 2012, there was 1,000 brokers. Now there's over 40,000 brokers in cash advance alone.
That's crazy.
So with that stated, right, equipment financing is a lot smaller. And here's the reason being. Equipment financing has the barrier of entry is so hard to get into. And here's the reason. Because with cash advance, you could be Joe Schmo still living in your mom's basement and the lenders are going to accept you. In equipment financing, those lenders need to see 2 years financials. They need to see your credit. They need to see that you're actually doing $500,000 a month minimum in equipment financing volume. So I went after equipment financing leads because guess what? There's not many people that are. I would say there's less than I would say there's less than 1,000. I don't know the exact number. Less than 1,000 equipment financing and leasing brokers. And I feel like equipment financing right now is like cash advance was when I first started. So why I went after equipment financing leads is because of the competition. But not only that, is the ability of being able, there's so many people. I mean, there's an endless amounts of people that need equipment financing right now. And that's what
Right.
we're providing to the market is not only the leads, but with Equipment Broker School, you have the ability of accessing those lenders through us because we have agreements with all the lenders that actually accept the co-brokered business,
Right.
as
No,
long as
that's a
we
good
pick the
point.
quote.
Yeah, those are good points. Like if you can, I mean, you're basically, you have a blue ocean at that point. You have all, like everybody wants to do MCAs, but you have like a very few people that are doing equipment financing. Again, if you can have that 6 to 12 month outlook and just play the numbers, play the time game, then you can do really well. Would you also say that equipment financing, because it's such a high barrier of entry, the you can make on the deals when they close, the commissions and things like that, they tend to be a lot more, we could say, than maybe other types?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if we're talking about like commercial real estate, right? Like if we're talking about commercial real estate, which that's not a product we offer, right? The points are smaller, but the deals are bigger. But I would almost relate equipment finance in is the same as cash advance, right? Like usually, if you take a look, if you're doing good volume and you can take a look at enough data over an entire year, the commission, the points in a deal is just about the same. I would say it's almost identical on the equipment side as it is the capital. So I know for us at Everlasting Capital, our average points in deals has been about 7.5 to 8%. And that's literally 10 years running. Every single year, it does not vary from it. And it's not, I mean, we have deals that we get 15 points in. We have deals that we get, 3 points in. That's just the average.
Sure.
But I would say the money is just about the same, which is a good thing because it's still a shit ton of money.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, that's fair enough. Let's get into a little bit more like how the program actually works. Can you talk about, because this is a, oops, there we go. This is a question I get, with regards to our own lead purchase program that we have inside of EliteBroker. So can you talk a little bit about how the leads are generated? Are we talking about SEO, Facebook ads, Google ads? Are they filling out forms? What does that form look like? You don't have to give us the secret sauce, obviously, but maybe just a breakdown of how the leads are generated.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're actually doing I would say multi-channel. It's really a couple channel because there's two channels that we focus on. Is our focus is on Facebook and on Google Ads. And what we're targeting is we have so much data, and everyone knows about it, right? The lookalike audience. So all of our audiences has been over the past 10 years of equipment finance data. And this is data
Right.
that has been, fantastic funded data that we actually utilize. So the benefit for most is we're actually targeting the target markets for specific industry types, equipment types. And what we're doing is they see the ad online, obviously, and they click it. And the form that we have it's a long form. Each and every question is on a separate page. And when that happens, it takes them a little while to fill out that form, right? And
Right.
one of the big things that we've noticed is the longer it is in time, the more quality lead it is. Because if
100%.
somebody is backing out halfway through the form, that's
Right.
probably someone that you wouldn't want to work with anyways, because they're probably not even going to fill out an application.
Exactly.
So
Kind of weeds out the
we
tire
tested
kickers.
it. Yeah, a lot of tire kickers, exactly. And we've completely tested this, and we continue to test it too. When we start to see different, analytics coming back to us, that, let's say if someone complains and they say, we've had a few, additional startups than we normally see, right? Then we'll go in and we'll tweak a few things to make sure that it happens. So what ends up happening is they complete the form. And then what we do is then we send an email out. We can send a text message, and then not only that is we can actually put you directly into your EliteBroker CRM.
Awesome. All right. Very cool. Yeah. That's an important part. Like we want to I guess it depends on the campaign that you're doing, because some campaigns that we do like Facebook lead forms. We'll get just name and email just to at least get them into the database, right? So our long-term email will go out. But then before they even become a lead, they have to go to another page. They fill out a questionnaire, and then they provide their contact information again. Then they can book an appointment, right? So we're taking them through multiple steps. And like sometimes I think people try to do like that. They try to gather all that information on Facebook and then try to call that lead right away. And not saying that doesn't work, if you're looking for more volume, but you are going to have to go through a lot of those leads to get the better deals, right? So typically, the longer that process is, the higher quality the lead is. So that's really good.
Yeah.
The other part too.
And big suggestion on that too is big suggestion just on that with what you just said is the longer approach, just like we were talking about earlier, is have like a automated and not even automated, have a real like program for like the next 12 months. Like you should have automatic things going out, whether it's text messages, emails, everything like that, ranging out to 6 to 12 months. Just like we were talking about earlier, you're going to have that long-term approach.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys, so your program provides only exclusive leads, right? Real-time exclusive leads. There's no 30 to 90 days or anything like that. Can you talk a little bit about the exclusivity of the leads?
Yeah, they're 100% exclusive. So the way that we actually provide the leads and send them out is we have a round robin, which is the fairest way you can do. We don't even sell buckets, because I get a lot of people that reach out to me and that they say, I want only businesses that have been in business for longer than 5 years. Sorry, it just doesn't fall within our exclusive lead policy, and we want to make sure we're delivering the most quality. So what we do is, let's say broker A, let's say there's 3 brokers. Broker A, broker B, broker C. A lead comes in, goes to broker A. The next one comes in, it goes to broker B. The next one, broker C, and just keeps going around. And that's 100% exclusive. We don't even sell aged leads. I have people reach out to us saying, hey, can we buy aged leads? Like, no, like it's just, we have enough coming in right now where we have the ability of offering the best quality, and not only the best quality, but 100% exclusive. And the only thing that they have to focus on is making calls and making money. They don't have to worry about anything else. And that's kind of the benefit. And, I think the reason why you asked is, some people don't want to build certain things out or have to do the hassle. And that's just maybe because they're not tech savvy or something along those lines. But that's a solution we provide. But at the same time, there's people that want to take initiative and want to hold the ownership of that lead generation program, which I think EliteBroker is fantastic for.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the exclusivity part I think is really important, and just kind of going back to that diversity part of it. I always tell people, your own lead generation efforts, I mean, they'll typically be your highest intent leads and things like that, but it's really hard to find exclusive leads. Like I've been searching all over the place, and it's really hard to find a reliable for that. They tend to be a little bit more expensive, but that's also because they're exclusive, right? And they're higher quality. They're going through the long form, right? So you don't have to. You're not playing as much of the numbers as well. So I think the exclusivity part is really cool, because there's plenty of people selling age leads. We sell age leads inside of EliteBroker just because they're so cheap, and we can get really high volume going through our campaigns, and then EliteBroker does its thing. But I think adding the exclusive ones can be really, really powerful as well.
Awesome.
Yeah. So let's. So how soon? So it's a round robin system. How soon would clients start receiving leads when they join?
Typically, we can get you on the campaign usually within 24 hours. Occasionally, it may take a couple days to get the campaign set up, but you can get in that round robin usually within 24 hours. Sometimes same day.
Okay. Gotcha. And is there? Okay, well, we'll kind of get into this in a little bit, but your programs work, so they buy a certain amount of leads every single month. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yep. So the minimum requirement is it's 30 leads minimum per month, and we do require a 3-month commitment. Again, it's that 1 to 3 mindset that we're trying to get over. We don't want someone that wants to try them out for a month. Like let's put it this way. I have enough name on who I am and my companies and everything like that. If you don't trust me already, you might as well not trust anyone,
Sure.
ever again, because we hold, our name to a high level. We want to make sure that we're doing that. So that's why we have the 3-month commitment, and then it's month to month thereafter. So it's 30 leads per
Gotcha.
month minimum. You can go, any individual broker shop can go up to 500 leads per month.
Gotcha. All right. So 24-hour turnaround time, maybe it's really good. And then since it's we're kind of looking at every, technically every month, but like every 30 days, whatever. They might get, 2 or 3 leads one day. They might not get any leads the following days. It just depends on when the leads come in. But at the end of the month, they'll get their minimum 30 leads if that's what they went.
Yeah.
Correct?
I mean, usually right now we're seeing about 30 leads. Usually you'll get those within like I would say a week. Like
Nice.
you'll get those 30 leads within a week period of time.
That's awesome. Very cool. All right, cool. Yeah, I mean, 30 leads in a week. That definitely keep people busy for sure. Well,
Yeah.
I know this is kind of I don't really like asking this question, but I get it. I know it's going to come up, and I know that we can't give exact numbers. I typically tell people like, this is what we're getting lead cost of our leads. How much it will cost to generate appointment. But with all the data that you have, as many brokers as you worked with, what would you like? Just ballpark it for me if you can. The average close ratio, and I know that's really wide variety depending on the broker, but maybe even like the contact ratio, like of like, let's say we get 30 leads in the week. On average, how many of those leads do you see people actually getting on a phone call with and then moving forward with the financing process?
Yeah, absolutely. So the close rate that we're seeing, it ranges obviously broker to broker, but we're seeing anywhere between 3 to 5%. 3%, if someone's brand new, really doesn't know how to sell, really doesn't just know how to hold a conversation, 5%, sometimes 6, if they're really good on the phone. So out of 30 leads, you're going to close 1 to 2 deals.
Gotcha. Okay. I mean, that's pretty good. Especially equipment financing. I mean, it tends to be, big loans, anyway. So I mean, that can be a really
Yeah.
good return on investment.
And then as far as contact ratio, they're seeing about an 80% contact rate right now. Like
See,
literally
that's
80% of leads that are coming in, which is that's one of the best contact rates that we've seen.
Yeah, that's huge. 80% contact rate. That's really, really good. You mentioned earlier that this can connect. So leads can be sent right into a broker. Can you talk a little bit about how that works? Would the elite brokers have to set all that up, or do you guys set that up for them? How does that work?
Yeah, we'll give you a Microsoft Word document. So you have to basically click a bunch of buttons and I'm just kidding. No, we're going to have it actually put right directly into the system for you. Basically, I would either do a screen share where you grant me access to control your screen, or you grant me access to the system, and I'll actually be able to have my team be able to get everything inputted directly. So when a lead comes in, someone clicks submit, it's automatically going to go in there. And then whatever you guys have set up for rules and stuff like that for your automations or anything, they'll be able to get connected as well.
That's awesome. And just kind of a side note on that, guys. I'm actually, some of you know, if you've seen the updates, that I'm actually building an equipment financing marketing system, meaning that it's going to have automations, your pipelines, CRM, the funnels, everything specifically for equipment financing that you're going to use. But we're also included with that is going to be specific automations and follow-up specifically for these leads. So if you do decide to join the equipment financing lead program, when those leads come into EliteBroker, it's going to automatically trigger the automations specifically for equipment financing for you guys. The emails, text messages, notifications, all of that stuff. All right, so I actually wanted to mention that in the beginning, but I forgot. So side note, we're not just sending leads into your EliteBroker account for you to call with this. EliteBroker is still going to be sending the emails, all of that stuff that you guys are used to. So just keep that in mind. All right, let's talk a little bit more about the cost side of it. Obviously, that's important for people. So we talked about a 3-month commitment, then it's a month after that. 30 leads minimum. How much is that going to cost people?
Yep. Each lead is $50 a piece, and the 30 leads. So the minimum is $1,500, and that's $1,500 a month for the first 3 months, and then it's month to month thereafter. Which, to give anyone an idea, an exclusive lead for equipment financing and leasing, if you were to go anywhere else, is about $100 or more.
Right.
So these are about like half the cost. And the reason being is we want to make sure that we're passing along the savings, because we figured out how to do it directly. And not only that, is we actually are a huge source for people to submit equipment financing and leasing transactions to if you don't have the lenders. And big suggestion is, once you hear this and you hear that the industry's small, definitely think before you act, because the second you try to sign up with lenders, is the only chance you get. If you apply and they decline you, you will never be able to work with them again. So don't run out and ask the lenders. Really, like, think
Right.
about what you're doing.
No. Is that so the 1,500? So because it's a 3-month commitment, so would they be 4,500 up front, or is that like just a contract that they sign?
No. So that it's a contract that they sign, and it's $1,500 the first month, and then it's monthly. You
Okay.
don't have to pay it up front. If you want to do like a longer term commitment, like let's say 6 months, and you want to pay up front, you can do that, and you can get discounts. It's different for every individual contract that we put together, but we give volume discounts and definitely term discounts as well.
Gotcha. That was going to be my next question, was volume count. So, what's the max number of leads people can purchase? And obviously, I would imagine that brings the lead cost down. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we right now we feel comfortable stating that any individual brokerage can buy up to 500 leads per month. And that's for any individual brokerage, right? So, and the reason why we're capping it out is because if I said anything more, right, we want to make sure we're delivering quality. And not only that, is we want to
Sure.
make sure that we can deliver to all the individual brokers on an exclusive basis. As far as volume
Right.
discounts go, again, that's all dependent upon the volume and the actual term of the contract, of the commitment. So I can't really give like an example. It just,
Yeah,
you
that's
got to
good.
talk to us, you got to talk to me on a scheduled call, and we'll be able to work through the details and be able to figure out something that works for you and works for us.
Gotcha. So, and that was going to be my last question about the cost and commitment part, was to get started. It's not, they're not buying leads on a website. They're going to book a call first, speak to you guys, and then that's where you're going to work out the details of what that's going to look like, right?
Yes, correct. And the reason being is we schedule the call. We want to talk to you, and we basically want to, learn what you're looking for, make sure that what we have is exactly what you need.
Right.
Because sometimes, seriously, we'll tell people like, we really don't think this is for you. But not only that, is we let people know this is perfect for you. So we're not going to be afraid to say, hey, this may not be a good avenue for you to go. Maybe you need a little bit more training because you don't know enough about equipment financing. We're not here to
Right.
just sell leads. Trust me. If we were doing that, the leads would be a lot more expensive. We're here to build, partners that would like to send business our way. You're not obligated to by any means. But to schedule the call, we'll talk about it. We'll go over the different options we have, and we'll really develop a good long-term plan. Hopefully not that 1 to 3
Nice.
month plan.
Sure. And I'm actually going into the dashboard of EliteBroker right now. I'm going to make because like I said, we're actually adding a tab inside of EliteBroker where they can learn more about this. Of course, you can always go to equipmentfinancingleads.com, but I like to have everything in one area. So I'm going to actually go ahead and make this live. So if you guys want to learn more and you want to book that call, then you'll be able to go ahead and do that. Moving along here, let's see. Can you break down a little bit more of what the broker school is like? Like just kind of like maybe an overview of the curriculum. How long does it take for somebody to get through it, et cetera?
Yeah. So Equipment Broker School, it's an all online training. There's about 200 videos. Each video is about 3 to 5 minutes a piece. And it's broken down into three segments. It's the intro skills to equipment financing, the advanced skills, and the expert skills. So we kind of really painted a picture when we created this, right? Of kind of like a flow chart of if someone's, just starting, how can we bring them in a way where, they can visualize what's going on and really comprehend and really retain the information. So with the
Right.
200 videos, at 3 to 5 minutes a piece, it's about 14 hours of total training. And after every 5 videos, there's a quiz. As long as you pass the quiz, you can get on to the next 5 videos, because we want to make sure that we retain information. And it's funny. It's funny. I get people that email us and say, I took the quiz and I didn't pass. There must be something wrong with your quiz, until we go over the questions and they just didn't watch that part of the video. So that's why we do it, is retaining. But yeah, we go over everything. We go over the history of equipment financing and leasing that started all the way back in 1930s. We talk about the terminology, right? Terminology is huge in the equipment finance industry. If we talk about a operational lease versus a capital lease, 99% of cash advance brokers, they couldn't even tell me what the difference between each one is. And that's what we go over in the course, all the way to the calculations. If you get a buy rate of 0.05672, how do you add 15 points to it and then be able to figure out the monthly payment? We go over that, all the way to titling and getting insurance, how the documents look, all the way to how to close deals and how to build a profitable equipment finance brokering program, and tips and tricks to increase the bottom line.
Nice. I love that because I was mentioning earlier about how a lot of brokerages, they only teach product knowledge, and I don't want that to sound like that's not important, because part of your confidence on the phone and your ability to sell confidently is knowing your products. So because there's nothing worse than a prospect asking you a question about the product that you're pitching, no idea what the answer is, right? And now, nobody's perfect, and there's ways to handle that. And I'm not saying that's always the case, but that product knowledge, really knowing selling, it comes out over the phone, man. They can really hear when you're confident with what you're talking about, what you're trying to help them with. So having that product knowledge, man, it's so important. Do you guys talk any at all, I guess I don't want to call them like sales tactics or whatever, techniques or things that you guys have come across or that you've used for a long time that help close more equipment financing deals over the phone? Do you cover any of that?
Yeah. So we actually have a part of the course that's called the initial first call, right? So that's in the intro course. The initial first call is the most important call out of all of them, is how to be able to talk to the client, what questions to ask, and how to be able to present yourself. And then in the further segments, we go over how to close a deal, how to present it, how to, when you present a monthly payment, keep your mouth shut after until they talk, and that's the game. It's the moment of silence, right? If you talk first, you lose. If they talk first, they're probably going to go with you. So we go over all the different tips and tricks on that. And not only just with Equipment Broker School, but you also can check out, and I'm sure that maybe that was another question coming up. Hopefully I'm not skipping ahead. But you can also go to debanked.com right now. Yesterday, we actually released Equipping the Dream reality show.
Oh yeah, that was going to be my next point right here, was the reality show.
There we go.
Can I put the link in the chat? Is that okay?
Yeah, no, please do.
Go ahead and I was going to ask you about the first off, just to finish up with the broker school, the sales part. I think that's really important, because again, product knowledge is one thing, being able to sell on the phone is another, generating your is another. So I love that you guys include the sales part of it as well, specifically for equipment financing. So, and I thought the reality show was really cool. I'm going to go ahead and post a link here in the comments if you guys want to check it out. I'll share it in the group as well. I haven't had an actual or a chance to actually go watch it myself just yet. I was going to watch it tonight. I saw it pulled up on my browser here. But yeah, talk a little bit about the reality show. What is this?
So the reality show, it's a concept where we bring 4 brokers who have been in the business for a year, who have tried all different types of leads and this, that, the other, and they've struggled. And we had a sign up for a free training back like, I don't know, like 6, 7 months ago, and we had a bunch of people apply. Little did they know that it was for a reality show. So we went through all the different contestants that actually submitted for the free training to come here to the office for a week. And
Nice.
we picked 4 people that we figured were the most heartfelt and like really wanted to improve on themselves. So we picked the 4 and we let them know, hey, it's going to be a reality show. Are you okay being on a camera? Yes, you are. Okay, perfect. I'm not going to tell you anything else then. Just sign this document saying that you're okay with cameras and then fly here for the week. So they didn't even know anything of what the competition was, like what they were going to be calling. So they came here for a week, and in the first episode, it's more of the introductions, but episode 2 drops tomorrow. And the introductions are great. You get to learn and get in deep and understand where those brokers are coming from and really understand why they were there. And yeah, man, I'm excited because that's really what I've been trying to do for the past 4 years, is really show brokers in a real way that there's certain things that need to happen to be successful, and that's getting on the phone. And a lot of brokers really struggle with just having an initial conversation, which tomorrow you guys will see the first day of them actually on the phone.
That's awesome.
So make sure you watch episode 1, because episode 2, that's when all the action happens all the way to the end.
That is so cool, man. How many episodes?
6 episodes. Each
Wow.
episode's anywhere from like 30 to 42 minutes.
That is cool. And basically, are you?
Go ahead.
Huh?
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was going to say, basically just taking them from where at, and then the idea is to turn them into a successful broker with these equipment, like specific financing.
Yes. Yeah. So, I mean, in the competition, a few working capital leads were counted, which it was equipment or working capital, but the main focus is equipment financing. Because we wanted to, they wanted to be in equipment financing as a niche. So, we really, showed them the ropes, and we weren't easy on them, as you'll see in the coming episodes. We weren't easy on them.
Right.
Just like I said in the first episode, they came here for a reason. Like literally in the show, you'll see that they were at this conference table, and I said to them, you guys came here for a reason, and I'm not going to take it easy on you, because I wouldn't want it taken easy on me if I'm trying to learn something new. So break them down and then build them back up. So.
Right. I love that, man. I feel like one, that's just going to be really entertaining to watch. I think that's just going to be so cool. But also, that's going to be really inspiring and motivating to people, because you kind of put yourself in the shoes of that person as they're going through the process, and you see them doing it, making progress, and now it inspires you to do the same, right? So I think it can also be a really good source of inspiration as well. I'm really excited about it. That's really cool.
Yeah, I learned just as much as they did. Like literally by training them, I learned, a bunch of new things about myself that I could implement in my own company, because it just sparked new ideas. And as an industry, we need to do that together. Is we need to help each other grow. That's the most important thing, is helping each other grow. A lot of companies are really quiet and held tight. And I say F that, like full steam ahead. I want to help everybody, because we're all going to grow together if we do it that way.
Right, absolutely. Is there so someone asked where they can see the episodes. If you go to debanked.com, it's DEBAND.com. And what would they do? Would they just like search for, like, I put the first episode in the comments, but
you could actually,
is there something
if you go on Google
or something?
If you go on Google and just type in "Equipping the Dream," it will be the number 1 on Google. It's right there, and you just click the episode.
All right, cool. Got it. Equipping the Dream on Google, or you can go to Debanked, which is where it's hosted anyway.
.com and click TV.
Got it. That's awesome, man. All right, cool. Well, that's all right now. So I guess we'll just wrap this up really quick. Is there any final things that words of wisdom or whatever, anything final that wrap up with?
Yes. If you guys are working leads and you guys are not taking applications over the phone, you need to take applications over the phone. Because I'm telling you right now, let's say you get 100 leads, and let's say out of those 100 leads, not just from us, from anyone, you get 10 leads. If you're taking applications over the phone, you will get not just 10, you'll get like 40 to 50. You'll get like a 50% application rate if you're just taking applications over the phone. If you send an email to someone with an application, no matter how good you sound, I bet you'll get 20% of them back. But instead, you take the application over the phone, and then you can take a look to see if they're qualified. Because imagine this, imagine if you sent out the application and then now you're following up with them 3 or 4 more times wondering where it is. Instead, you could have taken it over the phone and figured out if they're
Right.
qualified or not qualified. And I'll tell you right now, not qualified is just as good as qualified because they're saving time when they're not qualified.
Right. That's a really interesting point. Like that was something that I haven't mentioned it in a while, but when I would talk with brokers, that seemed like just kind of just a smart thing to do. Like why after, like, when you get them on the phone, would you send them the application? Why not fill it out for them? Like, why you have them on the phone, right? Like, so what you're talking about is you have the actual application pulled up on your computer or whatever, and while you're on the phone with them and you take them process, you just fill out the application for them, right? Is that what you're saying?
That is correct. That is correct. And then what you can do is you can send them over the link that has an electronic signature available, or you can send them over a DocuSign and it's already completed, or you can get verbal authorization to pull their credit, see if it's qualified, if it's for equipment financing. And yeah,
Right.
man, I mean that's genuinely that tip right there is going to help you increase your applications by 20 to 30%, like guaranteed.
Yeah. That's huge, man. That just makes sense to me. Is if you have them on the phone, they're interested, you're having a good conversation. Why not take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, however long the application is, to just fill it out for them really quick instead of putting it on them? Because anytime you put stuff on them, they're going to get busy, they're going to forget, or now they're going to start procrastinating, rethinking shit. The broker's going to call them. Like, you just don't know.
Yeah,
They got
100%, 100%, and that's why we do it, and especially with cash advance too. If you're doing cash advance, take the application and do not hang up that phone until they send you the bank statements. Everyone has one of these. Everyone has one of these, right? They have
right,
a smartphone. They can forward you the bank statements while they're on the phone with you, so you can get a full, complete
right.
MCA package in, within a second. I mean, it's never been easier, but you just gotta make sure you're doing it over the phone because I work with way too many brokers that don't. And then even when I tell them to,
Right.
then they're too scared to, and then they're just
Mhm.
stuck. So
Yeah,
that's the last tip
something
from there.
so simple. Yeah, something so simple that can make an unbelievable impact, guys. Such a huge difference in your application and close ratio, right there. Taking just filling out the application for them. I think that's something really easy and basic that you can do that has just a massive impact. So that's awesome, man. I appreciate you sharing that. With that
Yeah, no
said,
problem.
uh, we're at just 50-minute mark. I don't want to take too much more of your time. So I really, really appreciate it, Josh. This was just awesome. I know we're going to get some really good feedback on this, and really excited to hear about the success that Elite Brokers have of this program, because I think it's just an awesome addition to their lead generation. Just really quick, kind of just to wrap this up, is from a cost standpoint. Like, I know sometimes people are worried about the cost. $50 a month might sound like a lot, but if you're going to be running Facebook ads and doing all of this other advertising, you're going to be spending pretty close to that amount anyways. It varies or whatnot, but for exclusive, real-time, qualified equipment financing leads, especially the way that you guys generate them, $50 a lead, I mean, that is not bad. And again, thinking long term, where you're making thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in commissions, you could go the 3 months, finally close one deal, probably still at that point, right? That's just how much is in this industry, right? So it really comes down to the mindset. I just wanted to point that out really quick because I think it's important to bring up. Like instead of worrying about the $1,500, oh my God, it's $1,500. That's actually a drop in the bucket compared to what you stand to make. You want to think return on investment, long term. If you're going to be if you're committed to this industry and this business, absolute no brainer. Because if you just play the numbers, keep on your sales, and you're working Elite Broker, there's no way that you're not going to make a return on that investment. So, anything you want to add to that at all, Josh? Just before we wrap up.
No, I think that's I think that's great, and especially as a new broker, small numbers, or numbers look big right at the beginning, but you got to look at the long term, because trust me, if you make it in this industry in 2 years, those really big numbers seem really small in a short period of time.
Yeah, once the deals start, that stuff's a drop. So awesome, man. Well, again, really appreciate your time. Look forward to seeing where this goes. And any questions, any additional questions, comment down below. Make an appointment. At least have a conversation with Josh and his team. See what we can work, guys, because this can really take your lending to the next level. So, with that said, guys, really appreciate this. Has been great, and can't wait to the next one. And we'll talk soon. Yeah.
Thank you, Matty.
Yes. Talk soon. Bye.
Talk soon.